Okay, MeepleTown. Okay, MeepleTown. I'm hoping that we have the tech issues resolved. How about you, Deanie?
Well, yeah, of course I'm hoping that. I just don't see it on here. I don't know where the link is. Where's the link?
All right, so if you're on the Facebooks, we should be broadcasting fine on there, and should be broadcasting fine on YouTube. We are just waiting to see why it's not showing up on YouTube. So just bear with us for just a moment here.
Yeah. Yep.
While we figure this out, because there's a lot of people waiting on YouTube. So thank you, Facebook people, for your time.
You said patience. It was this is a behind the scenes conversation. But
that's it. You all get to see.
Did you say it's on the? It is a new link for YouTube, right?
I don't. Why now do I have to put in our password for YouTube and I can't get in there?
I don't know our password.
Is this? You're not on.
No.
You're not on your own. That's the problem right there.
No, but I'm looking it up like everyone else. I was gonna make comments as a normal viewer. That's what I was hoping to do.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, YouTube people. We're just gonna stay on this and keep rocking.
Well, if you send out a link, I'll be able to see it.
I don't have a link though.
Come on, man. Come on.
Let's see.
We can do this.
When I click on this, it's saying 3 people are watching on YouTube. Hold up. Oh.
Oof.
I think we got it. Dean, there you go. There it goes, Dean. I think we have it.
Is the sound coming through your...
It was playing, or the YouTube. I was on the YouTube. Send the link out. Tell everyone, get on now. Oh, here we go. All right.
Oh, man. This is good.
Oh, yes. BJ's there. John's here. All right, cool. Right on. Larissa's there. My wife. MeepleTown says go. Red says hello. What are y'all doing? Well, unfortunately, we're having tech issues.
Oh, here we go. Whoops, I just left.
That started as simply, y'all, as my computer just wouldn't charge. Like, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong here. But guess what? What's more important? That we are here, and we're going to do this MeepleTown live thing, and we're going to have a stinking blast.
We might. So far, we're not off to a good start.
What? So yes, we're off. It's okay to. But it said the internet was messed up again, and that we lost connection for a second. So whatever. We're just gonna keep rolling with this. We're just gonna go. Dean, kick this pig. Kick.
Now through the broadcast here, I'm good.
Okay.
Do you care? You've been good for a while. I am not.
Are you flustered?
No, I'm not flustered. It's just I just want things to go well.
I'm a little, maybe a little. I don't know.
Okay, going back to BJ. Let's go ahead and start it, and then we can talk about all this. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, residents of MeepleTown. This is Dean.
Johnny, tech problems. I don't know.
Today we're going to be doing a live show. We're going to be talking about all the Azuls. We're going to be talking about Golem.
All of them.
We're going to be doing some nonsensical top 10 list.
Mine's not nonsensical. Mine's very sensical.
Actually, mine is too, but we'll talk about that when we get to that point. So thanks for joining us for episode 101.
There you go. How about that? All right, MeepleTown. So I just want to say this. If you're listening in on the podcast, Dean and I have had tech issue after tech issue trying to do this MeepleTown live thing. And so Dean is really flustered right now. So if you were here right now, you would see Dean. His face is red. There's beads of sweat upon his brow, and he is just incredibly flustered.
Okay. Here, before everyone left that last live stream, my last comment on there that I don't think it actually made it. I think you cut the internet first, where I said, if you were here right now, you would see Johnny Rage Monster. John, we had to put out a new table because John picked up the other one and like slammed it over his knee.
It was like Dwight Schrute whenever he was doing the speech and he just pounded his fists
with the bad advice that he got. Yes.
Or Bo Jackson when he used to break bats over his knee. That was awesome.
That was John. I mean, the reason why it took so long to come back is because John ran through the glass window, and I think you got some steam off. I think you're good now.
Wow. Stephen O'Rourke says, if you were here now, you would see Dean, a lean Dean fighting. Dean, hey, let me say this. Whether Steven meant that that's one thing you don't get to see.
Steve's my coach. That's why he's saying that.
Is he?
So, okay, here's the deal. You know, I talk about this Facebook group that I'm a part of. Topher on there and Steve O'Rourke have been talking about how much weight they're losing, not bragging. They're just talking about how much weight they've been losing. And Steve told me about this app, and it is called, wait for it.
Oh, boy. You didn't know that on a board game podcast, you were going to get dietary advice.
Lose It. It's the Lose It app, which is a calorie counting thing. Something I have lost a lot of weight in my life. I have gained a lot of weight in my life. One thing I've never tried doing is counting calories, and that's been really good for me. So anyway, yeah. So I've lost a little, not as much as Steve. I'll tell you that. Steve is the fighting machine for sure.
Well, let me say this, Dean. I literally was on your SD card earlier today, and when I plugged it in, I saw some old videos, and I thought to myself, Dean has lost a ton of weight. I'm just saying.
That's offensive.
I mean, I was like, you huge, boy.
John said, Dean, were you wearing a...
Good Lord, Dean.
Were you wearing a fat suit in this video? What is happening?
Did you see the neck rolls that were just...
I resemble those remarks. No, yeah, it's...
You weren't really that big, but you have lost a lot of weight, and I really did notice it.
I felt better. Now, let me talk about my shirt for a little bit, okay?
You have to explain it to the podcast listeners.
Okay, yeah, the podcast listeners are not watching right now. I'm wearing this shirt called...
You're going to need to stand up.
Imperial Settler, but then I can't talk into the microphone. How about this?
It's an Imperial Settlers shirt with a Stormtrooper hat on a meeple for those listening on the podcast.
The pink
Imperial
meeple.
Settlers, the board game.
Yeah. The pink meeple. It looks just like the board game meeple. It's a pretty cool shirt. My wife said
she doesn't like the color.
She did not like the color. I don't either. I don't like the brown. I don't like brown shirts. 2 out of my board game shirts are brown, though. Actually, 3 out of the board game shirts that I have are brown.
Now we know the secret to why Dean has lost so much weight. He is making himself throw up all over his t-shirts.
Oh my goodness! Maybe after this one.
If that was actually happening, that would be serious, and we would have to have a heart-to-heart talk out of love.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, to get real, John, I actually dealt with that for a while. So there we go. If anybody is dealing with that and they need somebody to talk to, I would love to talk to you about
that. Is why I said that, because it is serious.
Thanks, BJ. I do like this shirt.
Cool. I think that there's some news that needs to be had, and that is that Clever Swine equals Eric Talbot.
We knew that.
I know, but for those who don't know, because we talk about Clever Swine fairly regularly, right?
Here's the thing. We always talk about Steven being our number 1 fan of the show. You know who else really encourages us and chimes in a lot?
Who?
Clever Swine. Swine
absolutely.
is always encouraging us.
So
and
is
showing
BJ,
up to these.
and so is Steven.
Yeah. They're also tearing me down too. So that's.
Speaking of Steven, he texted us earlier saying the live is not working. So you got him. You got Steven straightened.
What's not working?
Burford. The live thing wasn't working. He was wanting to get on.
Oh, earlier he texted us about that.
That's right.
Okay, we should talk about other things than just this.
Let's do this. Let's have a brief conversation before we get into the Azuls.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't say anything about your shirt. Show them your shirt.
Have I not done much with this?
I don't know. Not in a live show, maybe.
All right. If you're listening live, someone please type in what this is. I know somebody knows. Probably everyone knows. It should be pretty simple.
If Amanda's still on here, she knows.
If you're on the podcast, it is a Cones of Dunshire shirt. So what is that reference? It's all about the cones. Yes, that's right. All we need to know is that someone out there knows what this reference is. Okay.
There we go.
All
Steve
right.
O'Rourke says Ben from Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Thank you, Stephen. I just wanted to make sure, because if no one knew, I would literally quit MeepleTown right now. You would hear me going. That's what Dean does whenever he pretends to be walking out.
I do that. Speaking of leaving MeepleTown, we've had some people. So while you're talking for a minute, I'm sending this link out to the guild because I know like Matt Walker's not on here and he was here before. So this is excellent radio, I'm sure. But live show, it's good.
Well, while you're talking about that, I want to bring up something before. So as you know, Dean mentioned some of the different things we're talking about. We are going to talk about every Azul game. Now, we're not going to spend like 20 minutes per Azul. We're just going to kind of compare, and we're actually going to end up ranking them. Before we get there, yesterday, Dean and I got a chance to play a few board games with our arch enemy, Jonathan.
Oh my goodness. This has to come up because you got to brag. You don't even want to talk about the games. You just want to brag.
That's right.
Okay.
We got a chance to play 2 games that I was excited about. Golem, which we will be reviewing later, and a game that we will be reviewing at the next podcast, Wonderland's War. Is anybody out there interested in Wonderland's War?
Everybody is interested in Wonderland's War. It is number 3 on hotness, maybe?
How did you feel about our game experience yesterday, especially who won?
Wait, you didn't win that one, did you?
I was so happy that I beat Jonathan in Golem because, again, if you don't listen very well, it's because he bends us over and spanks us most of the time.
Oh. But
I was so happy that I immediately tweeted I beat him in Golem. Is this my new favorite game? And you will find out later. It's good. It is good to be able to play board games again with folks. How about you, Dean?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. We played a lot of the stuff on Board Game Arena. I still play a lot on there, actually. But to play face to face, it is just really good. And I love. We're not going to talk about Wonderland's War, but we did play it, and
that's all you're going to give them, right?
But there's something about playing these like in-your-face attacky games, which is Wonderland's War. It's an area control game, and it's just even that makes it even that much better being in person because you can't get that same feeling of those attacky type games online. It's just so much better in person.
All right, Dean. I think it's time. I think it's time to talk about the Azuls. And as we're doing this, if you would type in, I want to know who out there has played every single one, or which ones you have played. So they started off with, Azul, the original, made a huge splash. I remember when that game came out, Dean. I mean, how many people were talking about that?
10,
literally everybody.
At least 10.
Tens of tens?
Tens of tens, yeah.
Like that all-stick. Is that all commercial? There you go. The original Azul came out in what year, Dean? Actually,
Ghostbusters reference.
I'm going to go ahead and show this in the stream.
2000. Let me go on there. 2017.
2017. Wow, that's actually longer ago than I thought. For some reason, I was thinking it was actually sooner. Then Stained Glass of Sintra, right? Summer Pavilion, and now Queen's Garden, which we will probably spend the most amount of time on Queen's Garden. Dean, do you want to talk about all the Azul since you have Azul pulled up here, or do you want to talk about Queen's Garden and then go back and rank them?
Yeah, we can do that. We can talk about the other one. But okay, you said you thought it was sooner, but if you think about it, John, Azul came out in 2017. It is 2022. So
5 years.
4 games in 5 years. Now they're all, similar mechanisms.
That's a good point.
Sort of,
That's a good point.
But not exactly. They're pretty different. It's just that same basic like drafting piece, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's very, very similar. Also, Jennifer, she said that she buy Queen's Garden. Ooh. We might say the same thing, but I'm not going to say yet. I'm not going to let them know. Queen's Garden did just recently come out in April, I believe. As soon as it came out, I bought it, which is weird because I did not buy Stained Glass of Sintra, nor did I buy Summer Pavilion. But I think because the tiles were instead of square hexes, and that reminded me of some of other Kiesling's games. And I love Kiesling. I really do. I really love Michael Kiesling. It reminded me of some of his heavier games. It immediately grabbed my attention. And so I was like, I have to try this Queen's Garden game.
That's interesting. That is why?
That's 100%
It was the hexes.
It was 100% it was the hexes.
Okay. All right.
Because, I mean, dude, think of like Heaven and Ale and stuff. I love Heaven and Ale.
Yeah. The
Riverboat.
Riverboat.
There we go. I really like Riverboat. Yeah. Like, I mean, those things, I was super excited to try it. Why don't we go ahead and you pull that up?
Let me stop sharing. I'm gonna show the Queen's.
Yeah, let's pull up Queen's Garden, and then we'll go back to Azul. So we'll do a quick little review and thought about it. Hey, Jennifer, since you've played it, or if anyone else has played Queen's Garden, if you have played it, let us know what your thoughts are about it. Stephen O'Rourke says that Heaven and Ale is special, and Stephen, you don't lie, brother. You don't lie.
Before we start, is that Kiesling's best game? I need to look at. I need to look at some of the games. We might have to look at that. Look at that later.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo, check that out. Says that Queen's Garden was too crunchy for him. Didn't like it. So that's a valid opinion, valid thought.
All right, so here is Azul Queen's Garden. John's going to explain more of the rules of this one because you're more familiar. You're the one who taught me this one. But you're right. It is hex. It is very hexy.
Oh
yeah.
It's hexy.
There we go. Oh, it cannot pull up. It won't work.
Oh man,
it will not work.
No, it can't. Site cannot be reached. You're getting it. Okay, so while you're pulling up the site for those who are listening, I'll go ahead and talk about it with the podcast folks. So in this game, you're going to be playing over 4 rounds, and each round that you're playing, you're going to have some different goals that you can score points by having certain colors or maybe certain symbols that you have out on the board. But whenever you're drafting in this one, you're going to start off with 4 hexes on 1 tile. That's it. And you can then choose to pick the color, which is like the other Azul games, but now you're going to be adding a symbol. So you can add the color, pick the color, or you can pick the symbol that's on there. Actually, Summer Pavilion has symbols too, doesn't it? Does it?
No, it's just the colors. I got it sitting right here.
But they have symbols on some of them, but it has nothing to do with it. Okay, yeah, that's right. It has symbols, but they don't mean anything. There you go.
Yep.
So, but in Queen's Garden, they mean a lot, because if you decide I'm going to pick the tulips or whatever, then you're going to take all of the tiles that are tulips and you're going to place them into a holding area, which is different than some of the other Azuls. You're not going to immediately place them onto your board. You could also, and then what's going to happen is all the rest of them, a new tile is going to come out, a new hex. Well, a new hex of hexes. How about that?
Yeah.
It's not really a hex, but it's like a honeycomb.
A honeycomb
is going to come out. And you're going to put 4 new tiles on top of that one. And now there's going to be maybe 7 or 6 different ones to choose from. And what you're going to be picking is not only tiles, but the, what do you call that, Dean?
Symbol.
No, I'm talking about the thing that you place the tiles onto.
The honeycomb, yes.
The honeycomb. But you have to get the honeycomb onto your board before you can actually place tiles onto it. But what's interesting about this game is you're trying to get combinations, contiguous, adjacent chains of colors or symbols. And, every round, like I said, you're going to score, you'll score a point per purple symbol, per purple color or per tree symbol or whatnot. But then at the end of the game, you're going to score a ton of points for every time you have 3 contiguous symbols or colors. And when you do that, man, you can score a ton of points in this game.
Yeah. And
that's enough. This game is actually really crunchy for how fairly simple the rule set that is.
Yeah. Yeah. You nailed it by saying really the biggest difference between, there's lots of differences. The biggest difference, I think, is the difference of not just picking for color, but picking for color and symbol. And I think, BJ can correct me if you're still on here, I think that's the crunchiness piece, at least in my experience, because you do have to think in 2 different directions.
Yeah.
Like if this was just colors and lining up the colors and all that, it wouldn't be any heavier than Summer Pavilion. Yeah, Summer Pavilion. I don't think. But because you're basically adding a full new set of things to think about with the symbols and the colors, that changes it quite a bit. Now, if you're looking at the picture right now, you might be thinking, hey, they can't put those 2 purple trees next to each other. And we're gonna talk just a second about these components, right?
That's exactly right.
Those are 2 different colors. Now, it might be a little more obvious, but when you're sitting there at the table, they might not be as obvious. There's 2 different colors of purple. There's only 5 colors in the
Same thing
game?
with green if you're looking at it right now.
Yeah, it seems very unnecessary that you would have those match up, other than for the sake of wanting to have this aesthetic.
If you're colorblind, I think you're SOL. Probably with this game, and that really sucks because this is a really fun game.
I think so too, because like in Summer Pavilion, it has a symbol on there. The symbol is supposed to represent that color, so that helps you be able to see what it is. Mm-hmm. You don't have that same thing in this game, so you have to mark those tiles with the different colors that are close together. But besides that,
Yeah, you'd have to, if you got a Sharpie or something, you could make it work. But
yeah. So what did you think of this? I want to know.
yeah, so
are we going to rank these at the end? You're just
no. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. This is my favorite as well.
Didn't you say you wanted to do this at the end?
No, I mean we're going to go ahead and start ranking them, but I'm just going to let
yeah.
you know. And I totally understand BJ's comments. This one is definitely the most thinky. This is definitely not one that you're just going to pull out with family like you can Azul, which is a huge advantage to the original Azul, right? Huge advantage. Or even like folks who have just played a few games. I could see how this would be one where they might get frustrated because scoring well is probably pretty difficult. I know personally because Dean absolutely pulled my undies down and just went to town on my rear end in this game.
I don't think you might want to rephrase that.
That's exactly what happened.
Is not what happened.
You spanked me with a wooden spoon.
All right. So here's the thing. I'm better at Azul games than you. Would you?
Yes.
Okay. I
totally agree.
That's okay. We're better at different games. You're better.
You won every single Azul game we played in prep for this episode.
And maybe ever. I don't know. Did you go back and look at your stats?
No, probably. I like Azul games, but I suck at them.
Yeah. But you're good at other type of games like this. What's the domino laying one that you really like? The Renature?
Renature.
You were really good at that. You destroyed me in that game, I felt like. But yeah, for some reason, Azul just really clicks with me. The first time I played the regular Azul was at a con with somebody who had played it a bunch. And I beat him. I beat him pretty badly too. And that's not a me bragging.
It clicks
trust
with you.
Me, yeah,
it clicks with you.
You just have certain games that click with you.
Yeah, I would just, as I didn't finish, and I apologize for not giving you a score. I would say now with a few plays in, and I need a lot more, I'm about an 8.5 on this. This is really good to me.
Yeah. I think at one point we actually talked about the first three, and we may have given our rankings or ratings. I'm on the same. I'm 8.5. I'm not actually going to rate all of these. I'm just going to rank them because for me, it really.
You're 8.5 on this. That's a MeepleTown seal.
It is. How about that? Oh man,
we didn't even know MeepleTown seal of approval.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Oh yeah,
we did one.
Come on, MeepleTown seal. You're supposed to keep talking while I'm doing the back.
Oh, okay. We did one MeepleTown seal, Royal Seal last year. One. Is that right? Yeah, I'm just going to talk to myself. So one last year, and that was Batoku. I think the whole year, I think we're going to have 4 or 5 before the summer comes. That's my guess right now. But yes, this one is a MeepleTown Royal Seal. Is it my favorite? Is it my favorite of the Azuls?
That's a great way to segue into talking about the other ones. As you're getting ready to segue, Dean, go ahead and pull up the original Azul. And while you do that, I'm going to...
You don't care what
just
mine is.
reference some... No, I'm going to reference some comments about what we have here while you're doing that.
I'm giving mine
so
at the end.
Clever Swine says Mexica was played quite a bit back in the day in his group. Another one that Kiesling... That is one of the only Kiesling games I've never played. And I want to punch myself in the face for never playing that one.
I don't think that's necessary.
Stephen O'Rourke brings up Tikal, and I really did like Tikal, and I have Tikal. It's not great at 2, and so I've thought about getting rid of it because of that. Maharaja was on the lower end for me, even though I enjoyed it. Didn't you like Maharaja? Or
yeah, I liked it quite a bit. It's not one I need to have in my collection or really play all that often. Steve, yeah, I know that he's played that several times if I remember right, but really liked it. But it, in the grand scheme of all those Kiesling games, it is not at the top. But that's. I don't know. I don't know what that's really saying because he makes a lot of really, really good games.
Stephen O'Rourke says, backup singer John, the show is now Gladys Knight and the Meeps.
There we go.
I love it.
I do like that.
That was kind of a Motown vibe, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like Motown.
How many times do you think I've seen the Temptations in concert?
None.
More than none. Do you know that's my wife's favorite of all time?
Her favorite group?
Her favorite group of all time.
That's very hipster of her.
Yeah, we've seen them.
That's very emo.
Twice. That's not at all. No, she just grew up on a lot of Motown.
No,
stuff.
that's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
I'm talking about regular Azul.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so regular Azul. Do you have this showing on the live?
Man, it's not only showing, but it's spectacular. It's real and it's spectacular.
So you have these coasters.
What was that a reference to?
I don't know.
It's real and it's spectacular.
Oh.
But it would be another. You got it?
Yeah, no, I got it.
What show?
I think I have it. No. We're not thinking of the same thing. Are you thinking of Friends?
I'm thinking of Seinfeld.
Okay, there is a quote on Friends that is really similar to that. Yep. All right. Anyway, Azul, the regular vanilla Azul, which came out in 2000, what'd you say, 17?
Yeah, it took the world by storm.
Took the world by storm.
It's ranked, I think I saw, Dean, I'm sorry to interrupt, 62 or 63 overall. Huge.
Wowzers. Okay, so in this game, very similar in the sense of how you're drafting these tiles. Well, kind of. All these other three are much more similar than the one that we just talked about. But this one, you're going to have some coasters out there. This one's set up for a 2-player game, I believe, because you've got 5 coasters in a 2-player game. You're going to be drafting tiles from each of those little coasters. And when you do that, you have to take all of the same color. So in this case, I would have to take all of those black ones that are on there, and all the other ones go to the center. Now, at that point, anybody can now take all of the same color from the center. But if you're the first one to do that, you have to take the first player marker, which is not bad, but you're going to lose a point whenever you do that. It depends. So all the broken glass is going to go down to the bottom of your board, and you'll lose those points at the end of the round. All right, let me find a player board. When you take those, stop being so artistic here, BGG.
I love artistic.
I do too. All right, so you're going to take those tiles, you're going to put them onto the top part of your board, and I'm sorry, to the left side of the board. I'm looking at this at a weird angle. The left side of your board, all in the same color. You've got rows that have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different tiles that you can put in there, and you're trying to fill up all of those different rows with the same color. Then at the end of the round, once you do that, you're going to take one of those, slide it over to the other board, and all the other ones go back into the bag or back into the discard. And then you're going to score based on the tiles that are next to each other. So if I put one tile next to another tile, I'm going to get 2 points.
Score, baby.
Yep. And if it's a line of 4, you're going to get 4 points.
Score, baby.
Score, baby. That's all you're going to do. Then at the end of the game, you're going to get bonus points for different configurations that you have. So super simple game, and kind of the base mechanism of all of these Azuls.
So I think that, number one of the reasons that it really took off was not only that it was quality gameplay, but the components were stellar. The tiles are beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful game.
And in fact, okay,
it brings a tear to my eye.
Libertalia just came out. We reviewed that not that long ago. Jamie Stegmaier said, I want Libertalia to have this aesthetic feel that Azul does. So like this.
It's a good try.
This when you're reaching into the bag and
it does 70% of the way there. I mean,
you get a C there, Jamie Stegmaier.
I'm just gonna say, I'm just saying, the different designs that are on the tiles, how gorgeous they are in Azul. Like, he did a good job. Jamie did a good job at least trying.
The game's amazing. I don't care what you say, but
no, it's fine.
It's no Azul. All right. So where do you rank this? Since we're just doing your rankings, apparently we don't.
Let's talk about the other ones real quick. Let's just. Hey, BJ and Steven knew it was Seinfeld immediately. By the way,
I'm in the process of rewatching Seinfeld. It's been probably 7 or 8 years since I've watched it.
Amazing. Every time I watch it, I'm like, why do I not watch this more?
Yeah.
So let me just briefly talk about Stained Glass of Sintra, and I'm not going to go as long as Dean because I was really bored, actually. But let me say this. You're going to be drafting tiles in a similar fashion, pretty much as Azul, except for the difference here is that it's a little more tactical, wouldn't you say that, Dean, in when to draft, because you have a little person or a meeple that's above the different places on the stained glass, and you're gonna have to move that guy over, or that gal, or whoever that person is.
It's your glacier.
Yep. Glacier, okay, whatever.
Not
over
glacier.
To whichever, like glacier, whatever. I'm just playing. Sorry. To whatever column you want to go to. But here's the trick: if you want to go back all the way to the left, or go backwards at all to the left, you have to take a whole turn to move your person back there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really interesting piece to that. And you're going to score tiles by filling out, each column there. And whenever you do, you're going to put your tile down at the bottom of the board, and then you're going to score that column and then any column to the right. So some really interesting scoring. Do I complete stuff on the right first and then go back to the left and get those bonus points? Do I do some on the left first, go to the right? Some really interesting, I think, tactical decisions on Stained Glass of Sintra.
Yeah. Yeah, there are no glaciers in this game, but overall, I think that was a pretty good job.
Tip of the iceberg.
I would say this one is probably, I would say maybe the most unique. Would you say that?
It's different, and I think that for most people, it's their least favorite. In fact, let me just go ahead and back that up with statistics. On BGG, it is the least favorite if you just look at the raw score. However, the raw score is 7.4, which is really high.
That is really high. I wonder what the highest one is. Is it the newest one that's out?
No, I can't remember if you could go back and look, but I believe that the others were hanging in at 7.7, 7.6, 7.8.
Okay.
And this was 7.4. So, I mean, first of all, can I just mention that how stellar is that to come out with a series where you have 4 games in the series, and at the moment they're ranked 7.4 to 7.7 or 7.8 on BGG. That is incredible.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now let's go ahead and talk about. I want to get into talk about the components at some point. Maybe now is actually a good time because
I want to eat them.
This one is the most different out of all of these games when it comes to components. These are tiles that they look like Hall's cough drops, kind of, right?
That's right.
They kind of have that feel to it a little bit.
I can actually feel the menthol coming off those teal ones.
Yeah.
And the clear ones.
I don't know about that, but it is. I think this is the most unique, and it also fits that theme really well because you're building these stained glass windows, and there are these translucent? Is that what you say with these pieces? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Pieces that light shines through, and when the light hits it looks really beautiful. Yeah. The other ones feel really good. I would say the other ones probably even feel better when you're pulling them out of the bag. These ones feel cheaper, plasticky, but they look cooler, maybe.
I think, I don't know. I really like the designs on the matte finish, or, like the ones that are actually colored finish instead of, these are interesting looking though. I want to shout out real quick. I know that, for the podcast listeners, it may not be the best to do that, but to shout out to Monica, who says, love your show. Thanks. I have to listen to the replay later. Just want to say hi, Monica.
Thanks,
Speaking
Monica.
of friends.
Yes.
How about that? If your name is one of the Friends characters, Dean is going to definitely shout you out. If your name is one of the Seinfeld characters, which is a far superior show, I will shout you out.
Well, okay. When Bubble Boy calls into the show or makes a comment, then I will shout out their name.
Okay,
for sure.
Go ahead and do Summer Pavilion.
Okay,
and then let's just talk about each of those real quick. And then after that, y'all, before we get to Golem, we are going to play a game, and we need your help.
Yeah, here's the thing. John has cared nothing about my thoughts on these games yet, but I'll get to it when we do my rankings. Mm-hmm. Right? That was true. You just admitted to it.
Yeah, all right. No, I am. I don't care at the moment. I care when I share mine, you share yours, and the world gets to know.
Summer Pavilion falls into the category more similarly to Queen's Garden, I would say, in the realm of complexity. You can look that up if you want, John. I don't know what the weights of all of these are, but this one kind of works the same way. You're going to be drafting from these from the coasters from the center of the table, and you're going to be taking the same colors. All the other ones are going to go to the center, so all the drafting pieces work the same as what they do in the original Azul. Now, the big difference in this one is you're going to have all these different stars. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars on your board, and then one in the center. Mm-hmm. As you're putting them out, you want to try to fill out some of those colors because you're going to get in-game points for those. But as you're putting them out on the board, you're going to get points similar to the first Azul, and that is you're going to get points for the ones that are next to it in the stars. So in the example that I'm looking at online, it's got 3 pieces in there. If I was to put another one of those diamonds in with that yellow, I would get 4 points from that for placing it.
4 points.
There's also symbols on the board, and once you get those symbols surrounded by tiles, then there's another board off to the side that's going to give you I don't have a picture of that one, but that's just going to give you extra tiles, so you can basically draft the tiles from that board based on how many you can take per the symbols that you surround. Mm-hmm. And you're going to score points at the end of the game for the points that you already had, obviously, and then the points for filling up those stars, and also for filling up all the 1s on the board, all the 2s on the board, and all the 3s on the board. And I think that's it. I don't think you get points for 4, or do you? You do. I can't remember now. Oh,
yes, 4s. Yes, okay. Yes, 4s. Yes.
Yeah, I think
5s and 6s. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, so that's it. That's how you're going to win this game. Again, a more complex one than the other ones. Would you agree?
Than the other ones, including Queen's Garden? No, I would not agree. than the original.
The other two.
Yeah.
I was saying this is more
Trio.
on the complex side than
yes.
an average of these, I guess.
All right. So shout out to Bob Sacramento. How about that, BJ? You want to shout out? Of course I'm going to shout out. I'll shout out anything.
All right. Is that somebody from Seinfeld that I'm missing out on?
You don't know anything about Seinfeld.
I've seen them all.
Let us know.
It's just been a while.
Let us know what your best is, by the way. Your favorite Azul.
Okay.
Dean, go ahead.
All right. You want me to rank these?
I want you to rank 4 Azuls: Queen's Garden, Summer Pavilion, Stained Glass Sintra, and I'm going in reverse order, and Original Azul.
Okay. I'm going to start with the bottom one. I will. By the way, I really love all these games.
They're all good.
I
agree with
really enjoy these. And in fact,
I might not agree with love, but I like them all.
I do. I love all of them. And in fact, I would say that on any day I might play any of these. So it's not like even
I'm with you on that.
Tomorrow I might want to play a different one. So Sintra, the second one, Stained Glass of Sintra, is my least favorite, like a lot of people's. But it is the most. It's the most unique, I guess. And it is. It's the most unique, I think. Yeah, it is. It's just it plays so differently, but you still use that same idea of just like the drafting.
Queen's Garden is more unique.
The drafting is most unique in that one, but as far as like beyond the drafting, the part of the game, I think it's a little more. I don't know. They're pretty close. So anyway, I would put that at the bottom. I would put Summer Pavilion next, probably. Then oh man, this is where it gets tough, guys. I really struggle with this. You know how much I love the original. I still want to keep that at the top, but it's really close. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say Queen's Garden is my second favorite.
Oh!
I'm doing it. Sorry. And then Azul is the original.
Okay, we have
vanilla
to play Queen's Garden one more time.
Is my favorite.
I gotta play it again.
I've played the original Azul a lot. And I don't know. I'm sure nostalgia fits in there. I'm sure if it came out now and Queen's Garden came out first, I might feel differently, but I'm going to stay there. It's hard for me. I have to remain loyal to my favorites, I think.
Okay. Stephen did go ahead and explain the Seinfeld reference. You should read that, Dean. Kramer's friend. He talked about it all the time on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I am going to go Original Azul is my least favorite. Though I will say that it is the best for introducing people to the series. Just my personal least favorite to play. You look like you take offense to that.
No, I don't. I think you need to play that one again.
I think they're all fairly close.
That's the one we didn't get to play again recently because we've played it a lot more.
I'm going to go Summer Pavilion as my third. And I know that that's probably going to be a surprise to some people because I do believe that most, gamers that enjoy games that are a little heavier tend to say that Summer Pavilion, before Queen's Garden at least, was their favorite. Agreed?
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked it. It's fine. The interesting thing is that Stained Glass of Sintra, I think when Dean and I played it, I rated it a 6.5. So that's not even usually willing to play. We played it again today, and I was like, I really love this game. I really like it a lot. And so much so to where I might go buy it. But how about that, Dean? You surprised?
John likes a little drama. He likes to go against the stream.
Well, what's interesting is that it's a little more tactical, I feel like, in the decisions of when to take things, because you're going to not only add when to take things, but when to reverse, which is like when you reverse, you let everyone else go ahead and do their move before you get to go again. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's important, but then also on top of that, whenever it has those tactical decisions that you score points for a particular color, it's kind of like Queen's Garden does that. Score points for a particular color each round. You're like, man, should I take this orange color right now? Because man, they're scoring a point for every orange one. But oh man, I could really score this round, or maybe color. And I really liked it. And it took me another try. I thought Stained Glass Sintra was fantastic, but not as fantastic as Queen's Garden, which is absolutely my favorite of the three.
It is. It is.
It's really good.
It's fantastic. I mean, it really on any given day, I might change my mind with those two. But
Yeah.
to take over that top spot for me for the original Azul, that's a big deal. And I get what BJ says about it being a little more complex, and it is. It's definitely it is the most complex out of all of these. But it didn't feel as brain burnery as I thought it might. And I'm guessing probably because I'm just terrible at this one compared to the other ones, where I focused way more on colors than I did on the symbols on there.
You say terrible.
I kind of got locked in.
And you beat me by probably 20 points. So
yeah,
what does that make me?
Really bad at this game.
I am. There's no doubt. But I really liked it. So let me just I would just say for those who's listening on the podcast that if you haven't got into the Azuls, I think this could be one that gets you excited if you're saying, yeah, they're a little bit light for me. You know what I mean? Like we got some listeners that like to play heavier games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is a heavy game. I would say this is a midweight Euro, a midweight puzzle Euro. And it's very, very good.
Yeah. I would,
Queen's Garden.
It's a crunchier of those type of like non-thematic games, or yeah, it's good. It's really good. Clever Swine says, bye-bye, little Sebastian. You're 5,000 candles in the wind.
Little Sebastian.
I sing that 4 times a week in my house, maybe. I don't know. My kids are tired of me singing that one. All right, we have a game for you. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to play a game.
My son has that actually on. He shares Apple Music with me. And like it ran, how like, do you have Apple Music or Spotify or anything?
No.
It decides to randomly play stuff that you've played, and it starts playing. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me again?
All right, we have a game where we're going to be doing a weird kind of top 10. We've done this before, especially in our live shows, where John has a list of 10 things. I have a list of 10 things, and I'm going to ask John what those are, and he's going to try to guess them, and we're going to see who can win, who's going to get the most out of these 10.
That's it. You got 3 misses, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep. 3 and you're out. Now we can use some help from the audience. However,
you cannot look at this up, audience.
You can't cheat.
If you cheat, then we are coming to get you. We don't want to cheat. Listen, if you cheat on this, then you cheat on board games, and you ought to be really, really spanked hard.
Oh my goodness. What is the deal with you?
I'm just saying, you really should.
All right.
Your mother should hang you up on the clothesline by your undies.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone in the neighborhood, I'm serious now.
Okay.
Takes a giant wooden spoon and hits you as hard as they can if you cheat in board games.
Wow.
I'm serious.
Wow, that is a little that's a bit much, I think.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And that's actually too little, actually.
By the way, I have not been like looking at all of these comments on here, but anyway. All right. Now, if you know me, you know that I stress out.
Hold on. I'm only seeing the comments. I'm sorry, Dean. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm only seeing the comments from Facebook for some reason on here. Is if there's
and there are
YouTube,
there are more people on here that I just have not. Sorry, that was my bad. So this is
take some time. Take a minute or two to shout out.
Well, okay, I messed up. I'll shout the people up, but I'm not shut them up. I'll shout them out. But the problem is they made all these comments that were very pertinent to the conversation that we were having, and I don't know what they were talking about now.
Do it.
All right. So Matt Walker was on here. We had Salsa King. Got Sydney. Oh yeah. Sydney calling all the way from Canada.
What's up, man?
Red on here. Okay, so there we go. I would say some of the things that they're saying, although, hey, Matt, if you're still on here, I don't know if you are or not, but Matt said something about, I haven't played it, but I'm getting Calico vibes. Now, I'm not sure which one Matt was talking about when he was talking about Calico vibes.
It has to be Queen's Garden because they're hexes.
I'm guessing. Have you played Calico?
No. Okay. I've played I've played Cascadia, I've played all these, but that's one that I really wish that I would have played, but I haven't.
I'm considering getting rid of it. I don't think I need it because I have these other games like Cascadia and Azul type games. I don't need a ton of those games. But anyway,
do you prefer Cascadia to Calico?
Yes, because Cascadia will not leave my collection. It's fantastic.
All right,
my wife has played both of them, and I think she preferred Cascadia as well. Not sure.
Clever Swine says, what does Jonathan think about Azul? I don't know, Jonathan. What do you think about Azul? Are you listening?
I know what Clever Swine's doing. He's trying to bring Jonathan into the conversation. He's sucking you in, John. Don't you fall for it.
I fell for it.
Don't you do it.
Not only did I fall for it, but I'm texting Jonathan right now to ask him.
Steve O'Rourke agrees with me on Calico, but
Sorry.
oh my goodness gracious, are you all right? That's okay.
Sorry, I had a cold a couple weeks ago, and I have a lingering, occasionally cough will come up.
So I want to know what other people think about Cascadia. Again, different, but they're still, I don't know, kind of in that same vein, I guess.
Minutes before the podcast, 15
Yeah.
minutes before the podcast started, and said, I'm changing the list. So are you saying that I'm guessing first right now?
Do you want to know my list first? Yeah. Why don't you guess first? Now I'll share some of the list I had so you can.
Yeah,
say,
I want you to tell me your thought process.
All right. Initially, this was the list I was going to have, and it was the top 10 choices that I didn't like, and I probably could have changed it, but it was going to be talking about animal deaths, like animals killing humans every year. Okay. So the question was going to be, which animal is the deadliest of the animals? Is that a good one? Do you like that one? I want to hear some of your guesses. This isn't my list, but just real fast, just shout.
What would be
out.
the most deadly of the animals?
Yeah,
animals that actually kill other people the most.
Yeah. I mean, I need you to be quick on this.
Some type of snake. Some type of snake.
Yeah, snake was on the list. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Spider.
No, I don't think spider was on the list.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Rhinoceros.
No. There's not that many rhinos in the world, so
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think there's a ton of deadly animals. Lion.
Okay.
People get killed.
Oh, Luke, how dare you? Sorry, Cascadia to Calico. Cascadia is greater than Calico. Calico is greater than Azul. How dare you, sir? Okay.
Bears.
You're not very good at this. I'm glad I didn't pick this.
Brown bears, black bears.
No. Humans was on the list. You like that?
That doesn't count.
That
does not count.
Okay,
if that's on the list, I'm frustrated because I just don't think I would pick that.
And that's why I didn't pick it. Not
Thank
just
you.
because humans, but the number one answer was mosquitoes. I wanted to do this without bugs.
Wow,
honestly.
Steven put mosquitoes on there. Do you see
number
O'Rourke?
one. Oh, Steve.
That is an actually brilliant answer, Steven. You are smarter than I am.
Yes, Professor Steve over
Yeah.
there. That's okay. Bears, wolves. Wolves was on the list, top 15, Steven, but I don't remember exactly where it was. I don't know if it was top 10. But there were too many, like parasites were on there. I really just wanted animals that are mauling people. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Clever Swine says hippos. I think that's right, although I don't remember seeing that on the list. I had always heard that hippos kill more people than any other animal, like bigger animal in maybe Africa. I don't know. I can't remember. There's something along that. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Okay, let me go to my actual list. I had others, but we don't have time for that nonsense. Okay. Are you ready for this? Let's
just go.
This is going to be a shout.
I need your help. I need your help. Me.
Okay, so I'm going back to that a little bit, and I wanted to know, is this a link to the amount of people that are playing games, or is there something else there? Okay, so what my question is.
Okay.
We're a blue screen right now. Is that supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know if that's right.
I'm live without a blue screen. I don't know what you're doing.
Okay. I don't know either. I don't need that on there.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Maybe it is a blue screen for everybody else. Then we're in trouble.
The countries represented on Board Game Geek. I wanted to know if there was a correlation. Here's the thing. You're going to get half of these probably. It's the other half, just like our podcast. That was the
top 10 countries.
Top 10 countries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I probably should have checked that first. That are represented on Board Game Geek.
Okay.
Yep. By percentage. Okay.
Okay, MeepleTown, help me out here. I'm going to pause for a minute as you all help me out. I'll go ahead and say the United States of America. That's where I'm from, and I know that's at least in the top 10.
I should have put this in a checklist, maybe.
Yeah. So United States is on there, right? What number?
That's correct. Number one. Bing, 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 bing.
Okay.
47%.
All right. Clever Swine. I'm going to go with him who says Canada.
Canada is the number 3 answer. 7.4%.
Thank you, Clever Swine. Okay.
There was another. Oh, by the way, the most recent list I could find was 2017.
So that's 2. UK.
UK is the number 2.
Yep.
That is
correct.
correct.
Thank you, BJ.
Yes. All right.
Germany. I'm going to go with Steven.
Germany is the number 4.
Thank you.
Y'all are crushing it.
Crushing it. Let's go Australia. Oh,
Australia number 5. It's going to go down the list.
So have I gotten the 5?
Yeah, 1 through 5. That's what I just said.
Okay, I'm going to go with. It's going to mostly be in Europe, right? So I'm going to go with. How about Poland?
Are you just guessing this?
I'm saying no. I'm just saying it because I'm thinking of Trevishek.
Nobody gave you this one, right?
No.
Poland is correct. That's the number 9 answer. Yep. You are crushing this.
Well, Steven just came up with it after that. So yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's okay. New Zealand. I'll go with that with BJ. Dang it, BJ.
First strike. Yeah. Don't listen to BJ anymore.
Okay. So
Who
I have
lives in
6
another country down in Louisiana. That's a whole other country.
I have 6 of them.
I wouldn't guess that one though.
How about Italy?
Italy is the number 8 answer.
Okay, good.
That's correct.
Got it.
Bing,
okay.
bing, bing, bing.
And Jennifer Davis, I was going to say that next. France.
France is the number 7 answer.
Okay.
I told you it was a softball one, John.
I think you're going to have a good chance on mine too. So how many is that?
I think you're.
I got 1 through
2.
1 through 5, right? And then which ones?
You have
7.
U.S., United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Australia.
Mm-hmm. It's 5.
What are the last 3 that you said? I can't remember. Poland. Okay.
And I said Australia, and you said Germany, right? You already put that in. France.
France.
And then I threw out something else. What did I just throw out?
I want to say it because I think I know.
Italy. I said
okay.
Italy.
Okay. That's
Italy.
right. That's right. So you have 8 and only 1 strike. I think you can do it. I think you can do this. BJ says clearly it's Antarctica. I don't know. BJ has never steered you wrong before, so I might.
He did. He still steered me wrong. I'm pulling up a world map.
Steve says India.
Spain.
That is correct.
Sure. Yeah,
Spain.
Sure.
Spain is one that you guessed for our podcast, but it was not on our podcast list.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So you are 1 short. Steve.
Am I only 1 short?
Yeah. Steve says India would be a good odds simply based on big population.
I don't disagree with him on that.
I think you do because you're not guessing it.
No, I'm thinking.
Am I?
Steven is smarter than me. I'll go with him. India.
Oh, he's 100% smarter than you. He is wrong.
I thought.
That is.
I was worried about that.
Strike 2. 1 more. You can get this one. Do you want a hint?
No hints. No
okay.
hints.
This could be a big hint. But
no,
not, but
I mean,
not,
if I
but
miss
it will
I
not
miss
give it away.
I mean, I've got 9 out of 10. I should win this game.
You only have 1 more strike though. BJ says Portugal. Anybody else have any other guesses?
That's actually not a bad guess. That's not a bad guess, BJ.
I need validation that this was a good top 10 list, by the way. So if you want to go ahead and validate me on that, that would be great.
Let's go for. Yeah, I kind of want to go for a Big Daddy, but then when I sit back and I think about,
we got 1 more. Do you want the other? Clever Swine says Holland, the Netherlands. I didn't know if you need any more help there.
I'm worried that since you said that out loud, that it was because you want me to guess that.
I also said Portugal and India and Antarctica.
Okay, I'm going to go Europe. All right, I was thinking about going I'm going to be real with you. Well, not okay. Let me see. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Portugal. No, I'm going to go the Netherlands.
Final answer. Are you locking this in? Mm-hmm. The answer is Portugal. No, it's not. It's the Netherlands. You nailed it.
Are you serious? I got 10 out of 10?
You got all 10 of them.
Yes.
All by yourself.
Yes. Are you kidding? What are the odds?
Okay, now do you remember our list of our top 10 listeners for the podcast?
I am so hyped right now.
You don't want to hear that.
10 out of 10. Unbelievable. Hey, Steven, I thought Mexico too. I was thinking about that in my head, but I decided not to.
Yeah. Now, okay, there was a list in 2015 that was similar to this, and I don't think it matched up because I'm wanting to say Brazil was on that list. So I don't really know if that's as accurate today as it was in 2017, but I just couldn't find a newer list.
You have no chance in this game. Even though I don't think this is actually terribly hard, Wow, BJ, Johnny Cartographer. I think I should just change my name to that.
Okay.
Thank you, BJ.
John's
Thank you, BJ.
literally looking at a map on his computer screen.
But I mean, because I got to remember what all the countries are. Okay, Dean, this is a little bit more interesting than what yours is.
Wait.
Okay.
Side note, by the way. Netherlands was on our list of top 10 MeepleTown listening countries. So there you go.
Okay.
For what that's worth. There were 4 of those that were not on our list, I think, though. Okay.
Can you believe at the end I changed it from Portugal to Netherlands and got it right? That's pretty epic.
Should I have
change.
left the clever swine comment off? I was reading all of them.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I really appreciate that, clever swine. I owe you one. If I win this, I mean, no matter what, I tie.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I probably would have guessed Portugal or Brazil if it was me.
I wouldn't have guessed it without clever swine saying that. So it's all him. Seriously.
Okay. All right.
Okay. But it resonated with me whenever he selected it, but I wouldn't have thought about it. Okay. So, Dean, you are a child of the what decades?
I was born in 1980.
Mm-hmm. So you would call yourself an 80s and 90s baby?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go 90s. Let's look at the 90s, Dean, and let's ask
wait. Please don't do music.
No, I'm not.
Okay, thanks.
Let's ask what are
music, but I don't know names.
I thought about doing that. I was really heavy towards that. We're going to go 90s, and we're going to go, what were the 10 top grossing movies of the 90s?
No.
No, come on, dude. You can do this. With the help of everyone out there, help Dean get 10 out of 10. It would be epic for me to get 10 out of 10 and him to get 10 out of 10. What were the 10 highest grossing movies of the 90s? The number one answer is an absolute give me.
Can I look at a list? Is that possible? You were looking at a map.
I'm A-okay with you looking up movies from the 90s. I am not okay with you seeing any kind of ranking.
Yeah. No. I won't do that. So movies, that's what I'm typing in. You're watching from the 90s.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then since I'm not looking on there, you'll have to look and tell me.
Burford's on here calling out Tommy Boy.
Oh. Can I list my top 10 favorite movies from the 90s?
This is the highest grossing 90s movies.
Okay, so I don't need to look at 90s essential.
No, you can just look at the top part here. That's all you can look at. I'm going to let you look at Google where they pull up the movies. You can click the over arrow and you can look at all these different movies. There are a ton of movies it's going to pull up and you're going to pick out the top 10.
You ever seen Casper in the recent years? This is the first movie that popped up. But you're giving me a garbage list.
When I was a child, I was and young teen or tween or something. I was attracted to Christina Ricci.
Yes. Okay. So
most of the guys were. Yeah. I saw it 100 times.
Okay. Did you watch Now and Then? Did you?
What?
Is not as cool.
I don't remember.
There's a line in Casper. I watched this last summer with like my whole family where Casper says, "Can I keep you?" Like it's a creepy movie. It's pretty creepy. All right. Oh, there's some good ones on this list. All right.
So we're seeing.
Do I have any help here so far?
We're seeing so far Jurassic Pork by Clever Swine. We're seeing was Titanic in the 90s by Jennifer. Maltese Falcon by BJ Rojas. Titanic by Stephen Burford with exclamation points. The Lion King has to be one of them by BJ. Another Titanic. And then Jennifer asking about Avatar. Was it 90s or early 2000s?
I'm pretty positive that was early 2000s. I would bet money on that. I'm leaning also towards Toy Story was 90s as well. So I'm gonna go in there somewhere. You said highest grossing, right?
Highest grossing. Yeah, that's a big.
Titanic. Number one.
The number one answer. Yeah. That was a give me. Okay.
How many times did you see that in the theaters?
No, 0.
Okay. All right. Me either.
There's a lot of interesting movies.
I've seen Jurassic Park. Did that come out in the 80s? Ooh, am I able to look that
was
up?
Someone that. Are you allowed to look it up? I don't know.
Can I look up top grossing movies of all time?
No, you cannot. Okay, let me tell you. Jurassic Park was, I know for a fact because I was young. It was in the 90s, so you can decide whether
93. That's right. That's right. Ooh, those are on the same year as Home Alone 2. I'm gonna go with that. I'll say Jurassic Park.
The number 2 answer.
Okay, you've
gone number 1 and number 2 right off the bat. We have Vera is on here saying The Matrix ? I don't know if that. I think that was 99.
It was because I saw it in theaters when I was living in Knoxville, and so yep, I'm gonna go Matrix.
You have the first 2 answers correct, And The Matrix is actually incorrect. That's the first X that you have. It was number 18. So still a really high grossing movie.
Check another source, maybe.
I can. Yeah, let me check.
You said this was a cake.
And it's still not It's still not one of the highest grossing movies.
Can you run the numbers again? Did you?
The other question numbers one more time.
Oh, there we go.
It's still not the number 10. So you have 2 out of 10, and you have 1 X.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to these lists. Lion King wasn't Lion King 80s. I'm gonna go back to Ernest Goes to School. That's Ernest Goes to
as
Camp.
the highest grossing in the
yeah. Somebody had one on here that
that.
nobody put this one, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say Toy Story.
Dean, that's not a bad answer, but it's not even in the top anything.
Okay,
27.
You're talking box office.
Yeah, yes, of course I am. Yes,
but it's not like all time, because like if you're adding up your money, and is this worldwide?
I am on IMDb, and the title is the 50 highest grossing, movies of the 90s worldwide.
Okay.
So I don't know what all that entails, but you have 2 out of 10.
Oh,
and you are going to lose this game.
Oh man, you're right. You're absolutely right. I gotta go. I
thought you would do better than this.
I'm not getting any help. I don't have any help.
You have. I mean, let's see here. So what we have lately is Scary Movie. Little Mermaid was 1989, so no. Beauty and the Beast, BJ said, was 91. The Lion King must have been 94 or after Aladdin.
I just looked.
So, and then Steven says Lion King. So there's a lot of Lion King action, and Beauty and the Beast was earlier.
I'll go with Lion King.
The number 3 answer.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you have number 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. I would like for my wife to chime in here, and she's not. I'm guessing she's not at the TV.
I think for the most part, whenever I give you these, if you don't get all 10 of them, you're going to be like, yes.
Well, of course.
I think that there's one that you might be surprised, potentially 2.
Steven put Phantom Menace. You probably already said that. That was 97,
I have not said
98,
that yet.
Something like that. No, you were reading off from the screen, though. You probably already said that, I'm guessing.
I didn't actually, but...
Oh, man, that's really tough.
And then Vera says Forrest Gump as well, so there's another one down
Forrest Gump. Yeah, Forrest Gump.
So you're going to go Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Man, you are back against the wall. And you got it.
Yeah, I'm clutch.
Number 6.
Actually, when I say I'm clutch, beer.
So you have 1, 2,
clutch, yes.
3, and 6. And so people are coming through for you right here. So you've got 4 out of the 10. Can you, with 1 strike left, get 6 in a row?
Yes. Somebody just said, so if Lion King was 90s, I'm guessing that Aladdin was also in the 90s.
You did. Okay, so you did guess Lion King. Okay.
This says 2019 for Aladdin, so it's the Will Smith.
Is that where you're going?
I'm gonna go Aladdin. We'll go Aladdin.
Excellent guess, dude.
Okay,
but it's 13 now.
Nope, that was good.
13.
That was good.
Really good. I win the game.
Wait, hold on. You did win, but I'm gonna pick one that I wasn't gonna pick because no one said it. Is Armageddon on the list?
You beat me last time. Armageddon is number 10. So you should have said it.
Oh man.
Burford says Space Jam. Okay, let
is
me go
Tommy
ahead.
Boy on the list?
Let me go ahead and give these to you for those who are like screaming at the radio or screaming at the TV.
Probably
number 1 was Titanic, the highest grossing movie of the 90s. 200 and what the heck is that? 200 million. What's the budget? It says 2201. Is that like a billion? Goodness gracious. Number 2 is Jurassic Park. Number 3 was absolutely The Lion King. You nailed all 3 of those. You should have listened to whoever said The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it was going to be my next guess.
Because it was number 4.
Yeah.
Horrible movie. Horrible. But it came in number 4. Number 5, how about this? Independence Day. Remember how hyped that was back in the day? I saw that in the theater, and I was 16. 96. How old was I? 13.
Just for a second.
Was stunned by it. I loved it.
For kicks and giggles, can we jump back for just a second? Which one of these did we see in the theater? Let's do that real fast, okay?
Oh yeah, okay. Did you see Titanic in theater?
Multiple times.
Did not. That is not a good movie. I'm just kidding. It might be great. Jurassic Park in the theater. I don't remember if I saw it. No.
I am about 90% sure that I did. Yes.
Don't think I did because I was 11 or 12, and I doubt my parents would have let me.
Okay.
Lion King.
I don't think.
Don't
so.
think I did.
I don't think so.
Star Wars: Phantom Menace.
Yes, twice.
Independence Day. Yes.
Yep.
Number 6 was Forrest Gump. You got it right.
Yep. Also saw
I
that
think I saw it immediately when it came out, but I did not see it in theaters. 7 was a movie that everyone loved, and they were like, that twist at the end freaked, like, was crazy.
I would have never guessed
what
that.
Was it?
It was Sixth Sense. Is
That's
that what
right.
you're talking
Number
about?
7 is Sixth
That didn't
Sense.
even cross my
That
mind.
movie went crazy, though. I can't remember if I saw it in the theater or not.
I did.
So that was number 7. Number 8, you would never guess, and I wouldn't guess either. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. So the second Jurassic Park, which was terrible. Terrible movie.
But when the number 2 answer was Jurassic Park, then that makes sense.
Number 9, I think I
saw
did see in the theaters, which we already said. Number 10 was Armageddon. Number 9, Men in Black.
Yep, I saw Men in Black and Armageddon.
Yeah. Men in Black was great.
I am not a crier.
When I saw it, but I don't know if I think it's that great now.
I don't cry. 2 of the movies on the list made me cry when I saw them in the theaters. What are they?
I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, babe.
That's right.
And I don't want to miss a thing. Even when I think of you.
Yes, that's right. Armageddon and Titanic. You nailed it. Okay.
I don't give a crap about either one of those movies. I'll just be real with you. There it is. I just
my radio station.
Forgive me if Oliver and Elias are listening and they use the C word.
So when I was in high school, whenever Titanic, I don't know, Titanic was in theaters for about 17 years, but my local radio station in Huntsville, Alabama, I don't know if this was like a nationwide thing. They played, I think it was 48 hours of the Titanic song straight. And this is like the main pop radio station, but it was every different genre that you can think of. Every different genre.
Clever Swine says, Brokeback Mountain made you cry? Question mark.
I don't think I said that. It was Titanic.
You nailed it, Clever Swine.
And it was Armageddon. Okay, we're gonna do a review.
Am I surprised? Absolutely not.
I want to keep doing this. We need to let's stop talking about board games. We're gonna start a top 10.
We could do a podcast. Exactly.
I would love that.
That would be really fun.
Now I'm gonna give this next game a lower score just because I'm having fun doing this. We should have.
You beat me last time when we did a competition. Remember?
I don't know if I have ever.
You did. No, you beat me on this last time.
Did I? Okay.
Yes, you did.
I didn't think I did, but I'll try.
I've won almost every time, except for I think last time, and you beat me handily. I remember.
You're clutch live, John.
You got whipped on this one.
All right, let's talk about a review. We're going to be talking about
Golem.
Is that how he says it? I don't want to like really hack into the mic, but
why don't you go ahead and
speaking of Lord of the Rings. Oh yeah, I can do that. All right, you go ahead and start talking about it.
Okay, so Golem is by I'm pulling this up on my stream here. I'm waiting just a second. I'm sorry, those who are listening on the podcast. It's not going super well right now, is it, Dean?
Man. It's gonna happen. Something happened where my screen went blue and now it's not working.
Why don't you refresh your screen or something like that? All right, so Golem is a team of folks that I have pretty thoroughly enjoyed, and that is Simone Luciani, Flaminia Bersini, and Virginio Gigli. And Dean always wants to correct the way I say
Gigli, I think is what it is. You don't say the G sound in that second.
Okay. That's fine. It's I'm trying my best.
I don't know if I'm right.
They have done my favorite game that they have done straight up. I won't even pretend, and that is Great Austrian Hotel. Agree or disagree?
Best?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Verla's on here.
Oh, you need to turn that. What are you doing? It's all.
Hold on. There we go. It's muted now. It's muted. We're good. Okay. When you had me refresh it, it pulls up my microphone in here. So there you go.
I don't know if y'all heard that, but it was
quite loud.
Super loud.
Oh, they heard it. They heard it on the podcast.
I thought it was great. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. Okay. So they've done Alma Mater. They've done, I believe, Lorenzo Il Magnifico. And the reason I say I believe is I think Simone Luciani is off on some of these, and like there's some different. Coimbra. Simone Luciani did not do Coimbra. And I don't think he did Alma Mater either, actually. There's Newton out there, but that was Luciani story, so that wasn't them. Anyways, so this team of designers has come up with consistently solid games that I've enjoyed. I was really intrigued by Golem, not only because of the designing pedigree, which I really enjoy, but also because of the theme, Dean. This theme of this Jewish folktale of golems coming to life. And as someone who's been to Israel, has hung out with the Jewish people in Israel and absolutely loved them and really enjoyed spending time with them, to go back and hear that they have this folktale of these golems that have come to life, and you're bringing them to life. I'm telling you, without a doubt, I was immediately sucked into the theme of that.
How many golems did you see when you were in Israel? Are they just walking around the street? Because in this game, they're literally just walking around the street. While
I was in the streets of Jerusalem, I went to grab a shawarma, and a golem reached out and went, and it grabbed the shawarma from me. And I said, "How dare you, golem?" And I smacked it on its nose. And I regretted that.
All right. I'm zoomed in on this box. I'll pull back to that later. This is quite the box. Tell them how the game plays, John.
Okay. So what's interesting about Golem is that it plays over 12 moves, 4 rounds. So you're going to do 3 moves per round. And you think it's one of those games where you think, wow, 12 actions? Can I really, really do this thing? And yes, Clever Swine, this was in Prague. It's definitely a Prague thing. This whole thing is in Prague.
1574, I think it was the year.
Yeah,
or something.
Which I think is really cool again. So you're going to either be drafting marbles from the synagogue, or you're going to be sending out your rabbi to do a worker placement action that when you take that action, so in it's always going to be, I believe, one more action than the number of players. So for example, a 2-player game, there's only 3 actions out there. So it's a really tough pool to decide, man, do I want to grab this marble from the synagogue? Because the power of your action, there's several things that you can do, but like, let's just say, for example, you take the action that has to do with knowledge. Well, the number of marbles, the number of marbles that are there before you pull your marble out is the number of knowledge that you get is based on those. So if there's 3 marbles there, you're going to get 3 knowledge. Then you're going to get to upgrade something in the knowledge kind of section of your player board. And then you're able to buy a book. Dean, you are showing there it goes.
It wouldn't pull up. There's not very many pictures.
White screen of boredom.
Yeah, most of the pictures on here are the Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator.
Get that off there. I need some real stuff.
There's no real stuff on here.
Oh, there is.
No.
There's none. There's no real stuff on there.
No, it's just the box, and that's it.
Okay,
this is it.
Let's get something zoomed in or something a little bit better.
This is it.
But I would say part of the crux of the game, though, MeepleTown, is that you have a student on the streets of 3 different streets, and you have golems that you're creating.
That's a prototype
in those neighborhoods or those districts. And if your golem becomes too powerful, at the end of each round, you're going to pay knowledge for how many spaces are distant between your student and your golem. There's constantly this battle between, oh man, golem to go further because of actions become more powerful, but they cannot go too far or I'm not going to have the knowledge to pay for them. And then I'm going to start paying 5 victory points per golem if I cannot do that correctly. And I think that that's really, really interesting. There's your player board for those who are watching on YouTube, Facebook. You're going to have this section that's all about your knowledge and getting books. You're going to have a section all about getting artifacts, which has to do with gold. And you're going to have that kind of middle section that's all about your golems and making them more powerful. Dean, tell me what you think about I guess you could say art and components if you want to, and then the game.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's a little interesting about the components is that I don't have a player. There really are not very many pictures on here. I think it's because our internet's super slow and it's not loading them up.
I'm going to go to the restroom. I'm just going to live right now on the podcast. Why Dean
talks? Not live, you're not.
Because I am sure that he's going to talk for the next 2 minutes, and I'll be able to get that in while he does that.
Well, I'm going to have to fill this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about something that John maybe disagrees with me on this. So the components say that the marbles that you're drafting from that little dispenser, John mentioned, I can't pull up a picture of those marbles right now. Kind of, you can see it here. So these marbles, you're going to draft them and you're putting them as 2 of your actions onto the eye sockets of this golem. And I think it's the first game that I've ever played where you're drafting eyeballs and sticking them into an animated like person that you're creating out of clay, which I think is pretty interesting. But other than that, art and components I think are really good. I mean, I think the dispenser is really well done with it. It has all the marbles inside of it. You've got these custom meeples and all the different resources and things like that are customized. Mostly though, and this is a big box. Let me see. I've got the box right here. I know you can't hear this on the podcast, but the box is giant, but most of the box is filled with cardboard. There's cardboard tokens that go all over the board and your player board and the main board. It's a lot of cardboard. It's a really heavy, big box. But overall, I like it. Now, there's one thing that we don't love about the components.
That's right.
And John's going to talk about that right now. I saved that for him because I know how much he loves to talk about hating this part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things. Did you talk about the synagogue yet or no?
I talked about the eyeballs most of the time.
Yeah, that's right. I heard you talking about that. So if you want to pull up, if you can see the actual the board, there are 3 sections of the board. There is a blue section that has to do with blue marbles, a yellow section that has to do with yellow marbles, and then a red section that has to do with red marbles. However, the red section has a lot of green in it. What's going on? What are you doing?
I'm tired.
You're not even pulling up the camera. You're not even pulling up the cameras. You're not even pulling up the pictures.
No, I'm tired of that. I want to
You're
read
sitting
comments.
around. You're looking at comments. Can you not pull it here?
There was a whole section of
board.
comments on there that I didn't see that would have helped me win the contest. I'm calling shenanigans.
Well, it's your fault. 100% your fault. I have some issues with that, how it has green and red together. I don't really know why they chose to go that direction. It's a little bit confusing for new players. And on top of that, the synagogue, the way that it is positioned, can only really go in one position. Maybe you can work it in a couple of different positions. I would have liked to see, as Dean mentioned on our video review, there we go, that it would have been nice to have like something on the back end of it, on the back side of it, to where you can maybe put it in a couple of different positions. I think that would be nice. And yes, Clever Swine, Johnny Smallbladder is correct. There's no doubt about it. I have no problem agreeing with that 100%.
All right. But overall,
is the game fun though?
Overall, the components, I don't know, maybe B-, right?
Furla said that her group was annoyed by all the green on the red track too. I was, no doubt about it.
Yeah. One thing, Verla also said this about the look of this is all the icons. There's a lot of iconography in this game. Yep. I didn't really have an issue with this, but I also didn't learn the rules, and so I just asked questions to John, who already knew all the rules to it.
You basically had the greatest board game teacher teaching you the game, and so it was no problem.
Okay. All right. So next time, if you have issues, you just need to call up Johnny Pompous.
According to my wife, I am the worst board game teacher ever.
You leave out the rules.
That's exactly right.
There's not, correlation between you winning this game yesterday and no one else knowing how to play. I don't know.
I purposely left out or kind of grade some of the rules that would help me to win the game.
Okay. All right. Go back to the gameplay. What did we think about the gameplay?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool things to like.
Absolutely.
I would say my favorite part of this whole game is the action piece. Again, I'm having a hard time pulling up pictures, but the drafting of the marbles and then the worker placement piece. Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting of that is trying to decide what you're going to do first. You might have an idea of like, I really want to get this marble because there's 2 other or 3 other marbles attached to that. I can get a really powerful action. However, if I wait and nobody takes that spot, there's also a worker placement spot on there, and it's a good position so I can take that spot and be the first player for the next round. But if I do that and somebody's going to take my marble, it's really, really cool.
I like it.
I like that a lot. That's my favorite. And it doesn't feel like one action that you do is more powerful than the other necessarily. They're all really, really good options, you know? So I love that.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I really love that part. Like, man, do I want to take this power 3 marble action right now, or eyeball action, as you would probably say, because hey, I can gain 3 coins, which is huge. And in a really tight game with a lot of combos, 1 marble, 1 coin, 1 knowledge, 1 clay can be a big deal. Can really actually be a big deal. But also that, man, look at those rabbi actions. And I know Dean wants that one. So man, I'm just going to have to take that and then take a less powerful marble action if he takes the one, or Jonathan or whomever takes the other one that I really, really want. I think that's really fun. I told Dean earlier, I don't think this game would be as good if they were only drafting marbles or drafting dice. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But to have the worker placement in conjunction with that really makes it tight and difficult. And I know yesterday, how many times did I drool over a decision? Probably annoyed people. But I like that about the game a lot.
Yeah. Yep. I'm totally with you. I also like these. I think that the piece where your students interact with the golem, so you're moving up your students that you want to keep them up with the golem, so you don't have to pay a lot of money, but you also want to move them up farther on the track because you can get points, you can get resources during the income phase, and that's really cool. But the golem, the position and moving them forward and backwards, most of the time they're going to be running ahead of you like a crazy golem that they are, right? They're just trying to get away from you and like go destroy the city or whatever. But if you can kind of rein them in and get them in the right position, it's huge, because then you can start taking the actions in the spots that they're on. And it's really, really interesting how those two pieces interact. I lost a lot of points my first game playing this because I just let one of them go crazy, because you really want to have more than just one golem on the board. Otherwise, if it's just one, they're going to lose you a ton of points.
Yeah, because I think the second part of your turn is you're going to look at your golem kind of track that you have on your player board plus the character cards that are on the board, and you're going to say, oh wow, my player track has 4 on the golem and the character card has 2. Now I have to disperse between my golems 6 different spaces. If you've only got 1 on the board, you're kind of screwed. You got to move that golem 6 spaces, and when you get to the end of the board, you're going to have to pay knowledge or victory points every time you move the golem to the right another space. At the end of the board, you're paying 5 victory points every time your golem needs to move right to the right space. So yeah, I think that part's interesting. And to go along with that, Dean, I think maybe one of the cruxes of the game is lining up your golems with what actions you want to take. Because one of that marble kind of actions that you're taking is you're paying knowledge to be able to do the actions where the golems are. And so there's that interesting pool of, I want that golem space, but if I want to stop here, then I'm gonna have to take this other golem and move them 2 more forward, which might cost me knowledge, which sucks but man, this spot is worth it. And whenever you can kind of get the stars to align and have the golems in the right place and your students in the right place, you feel really smart. And over the course of 12 actions, you can do a heck of a lot with the combos if you do it right. And shout out to Sydney, who says hello. We say hello back, Sydney. What's up?
Yeah, I'm with you, John. But it's neat because you can look out on the board and try to figure out ways to manipulate all of that. The cards that come into play into your library, I guess it is. So you pay knowledge and you get these books to put them into your library, and they give you immediate benefits, and then they're also going to stack and give you, you know, multiplier. Well, not multipliers, but you're going to trigger all of those again.
Yeah.
A lot of those are ways that you can move either the golem back and forth. You can move it forward or backwards, or you can move up and down on the track that determines the speed that they're going to be running from you, which is the first time that I played it, I didn't recognize how important it was going to be. If you want to build more golems, you really need to decrease that speed at some point so they're not just going crazy. And I neglected to do that, which is why it lost me so many points. I just didn't have any kind of reign over where they were going.
But the balance is, the higher you're up on that track, the more victory points you score per round as an income. So that's the interesting part, is like, part of you is like going, man, I would love to score 4 points a round, but I don't want to move my golem 7 spaces.
Yeah. And there is that balance that you keep going back to, you know, that balance piece of not having them go too far ahead, but also you get as many possible points as you can. And I just went for the points on that track and just let them go crazy. So, which in the end you end up losing, because you lose a bunch of points by doing that. But it's manageable. That's the thing. It's not just, you're not just at the mercy of them running off. You can manage it. You just have to pay attention to it. And I did not do that.
That's right. And
Clever Swine said it looks like a table hog too.
Yes, it is.
And it is. There's a lot of space.
No doubt about it.
Sure.
Sydney says a freaky cover. Yeah, it is. It's a little crazy cover.
It is, but it's further proof why I think you're drafting eyeballs from the marble dispenser, because they're red and blue eyes.
Yeah, you can't see it from Dean's picture probably very well, but he pointed that out. I didn't even notice it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does not say that in the rule book, but I feel pretty confident that's what they were going for.
I mean, you're placing it on the eyeball section on your board. So.
Yeah.
So this game is weighted at around, do you mind clicking on that, Dean? I think it's weighted at close to a 4, like maybe 3.9 something. But I didn't feel like rule-wise it was that heavy. And I know that that's a whole subjective thing. 3.93. I felt like rule-wise it was medium heavy. But 4 really seemed pretty sneaking heavy. But when it comes to how do I best play it, I understand why people weight it that high. What do you think about that?
Yeah. It didn't, I don't love heavier Euro games necessarily unless they feel thematic or I'm engaged in what's going on. This one, I was really engaged the whole time. I didn't feel like it was too much. It wasn't overwhelming, and the decisions made sense that you were taking. So it didn't feel heavy, even though it might be weighted higher.
We shot the video this morning, and as I'm driving over here, Dean's like, "Oh man, you put the game up. I really wanted to finish it."
Yeah.
I love this game. I thought it was great. This is up there. It's not as good as Grand Austria Hotel to me, and the difference becomes the length of game and the quick setup. That's straight up. Like, it's just a little faster to set the game up on Grand Austria Hotel, a little bit quicker, and I adore that game. That's a top 20, maybe even a top 10 game for me. Dean, I am wrestling, or I have wrestled between an 8.5 and a 9 on Golem, and I'm going to give it a 9, but just say low 9 for right now. I wish I could give it 8.75. Just thought this game was really, really, really good, and I've thought about it a lot. Can't wait to play it. I would play it anytime. I would totally suggest it. I'm gonna go 9 on Golem.
Okay, there we go. I am at a little bit less than you. This tends to not be my jam, though, and so I'm with you. Grand Austria Hotel is a top 50 game for me. I really love that game, and it still reigns as that supreme game out of these designers that they do. But surprisingly, this was not too far below that. It's closer, way closer than I would have imagined. I'm at an 8.5 on this one.
Whoa!
Yeah.
MeepleTown Seal.
Royal Seal number 2 for this episode. We've already doubled our total from last year. There we go.
Dude, that's crazy. That last year, we're not 100% sure of this, right? As much as we want to say we are, we're pretty sure that we gave 1 seal out.
I'm not 100% sure. You're right. I think that's right.
Cascadia? And no, we did 2. Cascadia and Bitoku, right?
No, I was an 8 on Cascadia.
And I was like 8.5.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that is just below what we need to be able to have. So
you're right. So to be 5 months, not even quite 5 months into 2022, and to have 2 seals off the bat, and hey, teaser for next episode, does Wonderland's War hit one? Maybe.
Does another game that we're going to talk about that episode?
Could 3?
That'd be 4
in less than a year. Oh, that's right.
Tell
them what we're talking about. Foundations of Rome. Also,
could that also?
Could 4 MeepleTown seals come out in
2 weeks,
5 months versus 1 the entire year last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
It could very well be.
It's in all transparency. It's very possible.
Yep. Yeah, we're not quite there yet. We need to play those other ones. But let's get back to Golem.
Seal.
We both really, really like Golem a lot, obviously. And this one's going to hit the table. I don't know if I need this game because John has it, and he's the one I would play it with anyway. So I'm happy that he has it, and I am happy to play this really anytime. It's a really
$64. Cool. What do you think?
For what's in the box, I think that's actually not bad.
Not bad. Yeah. The box, speaking of the box, was a little thin. Cranio, and let me say this. I don't want to say anything too negative about Cranio, is that they gave me, you know how many Ziploc bags they gave me, Dean? You know this because I've already told you this.
None Ziploc bags.
0.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That is frustrating. You gave me no bags. Like, there were a few components that had bags in them originally, but for all the player pieces and everything, they gave me no bags to put my pieces in. And I paid $64 for that game.
Would you have paid $64.50 for those bags?
Yes. I would have paid $67 for those bags. Like, it's just, that's unreal to me in this day and age to not give some bags to be able to put your components in. What do you want me to do? Just toss all the bags in there? I mean, all the components.
Like a monster? Like a Golem?
Yeah, like Candyland or something. Just throw them all in there and just have to. No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what you can have are some bags from Arc Nova that has a bazillion bags in it.
Yeah.
You can just take some of those.
Thank you, Arc Nova.
Yeah.
Thank you, Capstone, for actually doing that.
I think there's a balance in there between somewhere, but anyway. All right, that is going to do it. John gave this one a 9. I gave it an 8.5. Mm-hmm. Another MeepleTown seal for this episode.
Amazing.
John, why don't you tell people how they can get in touch with this? And if you're on the live show, don't just go running off. We can answer some questions and be here for a little bit after that. But John's going to tell us how you can get in touch with us.
Yeah, if you're enjoying our channel, you're enjoying our podcast, whatever you're listening on, Facebook, whatever, if you can rate it, we would enjoy your rating. Right, Dean?
We definitely
really would. We're at MeepleTown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We would enjoy you subscribing to the podcast or to the YouTubes. And we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to MeepleTown. All right, so we'll take a few minutes. If anybody has any questions for us on there.
I'm going to go ahead and stop this podcast thing. You think, Dean?
Oh, yeah. You got to send that over to me, too, because we're going to have that out tomorrow. If you didn't get to hear the whole thing, it'll still release at the same time.
So, Jennifer, that's why you buy craft bags from Hobby Lobby or Walmart? Totally understand. That's why I had to go get them out of my drawer, on my drawers.
Yep. Well, I don't know about that, but yep.
Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any comments? We'll stay on here for a few more minutes.
Do you use any? Do you use Ziploc bags? Just regular sandwich bags or the snack bags?
I have before.
They feel weird, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't
It's
prefer
the size. It's the size of them. They need to be more. They need to be thinner.
Thicker.
I think is.
Well, they need to be thicker material, thinner. Yes. Yep. They're too fat.
Yep.
They're like a big old daddy monster.
Hey, okay, going back to Salsa King, who really wants you to sing, John, wants you to sing like Celine. Can you sing like Celine Dion?
Oh man. What did she do again? Just kidding.
Every night.
What was the big Titanic song?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the Armageddon song, Don't Want to Close My Eyes, is like stuck in my head. What was the Titanic song?
Yeah, it's My Heart Will Go On is the name of that song.
Go on. How's the rest of it go?
Oh my goodness.
How's the rest of it go?
All right, that's all you get. That's all you get, Sydney. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry, Sydney. I'm really ruining it for you.
I use regular sandwich bags. Let me go to Stevens for just a second. So, which of the top 10?
Wherever you are, and I know that my heart will. That's my Eddie Vedder version, Pearl Jam version. Go on.
I was just trying to think of this song I used to sing. Yellow Ledbetter? That song?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's gonna come to me. I can't think of the lyrics right now, but it's a Pearl Jam song that I don't know any of the words, but I love singing it. Okay. What did Steven said?
I like this.
Top 10 90s movies do you think would make the best board game?
Well,
there are some Titanic games out there.
And also Jurassic Park, there's Dinosaur Island. And what was the latest one?
Yep.
Dinosaur World.
The legacy.
Dinosaur World.
There was a legacy one that just.
Dinosaur World was good. I like that game. What would what I would like to see?
Tommy Boy.
Sandlot.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to, because there's not a ton of baseball themed games. I would love to see someone do a Sandlot themed game. Yeah, I mean, you could do like a goofy, like Independence Day or Men in Black game. Would be kind of fun.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be super excited about it. Forrest Gump. If they come up with a Forrest Gump game, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know how you would do it.
They're doing some of those storybook games. I think it's Funko Games that does those. That's like Wizard of Oz just came out and they did Princess Bride. I'm excited to try those. Okay, Jennifer asked, "Do y'all ever buy upgraded components for your games?" Well, let me tell you.
There you go.
Yes,
Great question.
Yes, I do. I will say though.
Yes and no. And rarely.
I do like components. I like having nicer components. A lot of the games that come out with like deluxe versions, which is everything Kickstarter, has some really good stuff in it. But I would say the ones that I like the most are those Geek Up bits.
Mm-hmm. You do that.
Which are almost, they're not a necessity, but they really do feel good. It's like Libertalia or Azul drawing those bag building pieces out that are plastic as opposed to cardboard. They're just nicer. I like those.
Yeah, I mean, like when you traded me Altiplano and you geeked up those bits, those were nice. And whenever we played, I'm not going to spoil it, but when we played Wonderland's War, you have the upgraded components. And that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. It does feel really nice pulling out thick plastic pieces versus some little tiny cardboard. So,
yeah.
Especially I don't do it much, Jennifer, though. Like, I'll be real. I don't do it that much. I have to really like the game. And even when I do, like, for example, I still haven't bought the Exosuits of Anachrony, even though it's like a top 5 game for me. Though I should. I want to, and I should. I just haven't.
Yep. Sydney, what's your favorite game that you enjoy, even if you're losing? Well, I never care if I'm losing anyway.
I don't care either.
So Blood Rage, I guess. I rarely win that game. So there we go.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't. Yeah.
And we have not talked about Wonderland's War. We mentioned it earlier tonight a little bit, but we'll get some more plays of that in before we do a review. But that's probably going to be on the next podcast, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100%. It will be. We'll talk about that, and we will also talk about Foundations of Rome, which is a Emerson Masucci game who did Reef and a lot of other really, really good games.
Stupid high production.
Really interesting. Yeah. That's just kind of a teaser for next episode. Is like, it's really interesting that it's a lighter game that cost $100 and something because it's is overproduced, correct or not? I don't know. Highly produced for a lighter game. Not a light game. Medium light.
You want a spoiler? Does anyone who's here want a spoiler? Since this isn't going to be in the podcast or anywhere
else, go ahead.
Really.
Tell them.
Foundations of Rome, it might be a top 10 game for me. Who knows? I love, probably not that high. I don't know though. I love it. It's so good. So good. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see here on the next podcast. I actually really liked it too a lot. I love Emerson Masucci though. I like his games quite a bit. Reef is one that I feel like kind of flew under the radar. It's a very popular game, but I feel like it's better than people give it credit for.
You know what else is interesting? When I'm nobody asked this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. I think when I look at
just sit around and just ramble.
Those 4 games that we talked about, the new Azul, what are they? Wonderland's War, Foundations of Rome, and Golem. I think it's possible all 4 of those would have made my top 10 if they came out last year. That would be my guess.
Absolutely agree with you.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
And they all, I mean, they probably all got delayed too. They probably were supposed to come out last year, but that's just...
Last year I felt like it was a little bit of a disappointment for me.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it. I got to get this edited and put up on the interweb. So thank y'all for joining us.
See y'all next time.